So just an introduction. Hello and welcome to today's SCORE webinar on how to gain more customers with a LinkedIn company page. This webinar is being presented by Lynn Williams, who is a career coach, a writer of resumes and LinkedIn profiles, CEO of Great Careers Group, a SCORE volunteer, and probably many other things. I would like to thank Lynn for giving us time to present this topic, which all of you should find very informative and helpful. All right, thank you. You can go on to the next. Before we get started, before we get into the details of the topic, I do want to first provide everyone a little bit of information about SCORE. And my name is Mercedes Diaz. I'm a member of SCORE of Chester and Delaware counties. I'm a mentor. I'm also the chapter chair. SCORE is a nonprofit organization that's been in existence for over 50 years. It's the nation's largest volunteer organization of business experts to support small business community. SCORE's mission is to foster a strong and vibrant small business community by providing both mentoring and education. So SCORE is here to help support you and help grow your business. We are also a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. SCORE nationally has, go back one more. SCORE nationally has over 10,000 volunteers serving clients throughout the United States. In our specific chapter, Chester and Delaware counties, we have approximately 100 volunteers here in the chapter to help this particular area. So you can go on to the next page. Before I turn it back over to Lynn, just a couple of logistical points. The webinar is being recorded, and that recording will be made available to you after today's session. All of you have been placed on mute so that we can avoid any distractions. However, we do encourage questions. Lynn is very interactive and has a lot of information to share. So if you would please put your questions into the Q&A box, and I will be monitoring that box and we'll make sure that all of your questions get answered. If you have any comments or references, you can put those into the Zoom chat box. All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to report that I am going from my 9th to 10th year into being a SCORE volunteer. So April of next year, I will celebrate my 10 years with SCORE.
Wow.
Yeah, been
Great.
a long time. So in the chat, I just put a few links so you know how to get a hold of me, but more importantly, how you get a hold of this deck. This deck is a Google slide deck. It is not PowerPoint. So if I happen to update it and you go back on this link, you will be able to access it with the updates. Now, the reason I do a Google slide deck is because I have a lot of links built in so that it is interactive and you can continue learning and reading more about some of the topics that I'm going to talk about, because we only have an hour and a half here today with Q&A. So I want to talk about preparing to build your company page. So first, you need to make sure you have your logo and a cover page. And I'm going to talk about the specific sizes. Now, if you don't have a logo developed, you can probably, create something temporarily to make it work for you, so there's at least a little pop of color. You also need to have your general contact information handy, the industry that you're in, company size, all the basic stuff that you obviously would know. And hopefully you have a tagline for your business. Taglines are generally around 6-ish or so words, could be less, could be a little bit more, but it's something that is enduring throughout time for your particular business. Now, you also need to have verbiage for your company description. So, for example, your vision, your mission, your value proposition, your unique selling point, like what makes you special compared to your competition, and what product or service do you offer. And then you'll be asked to come up with 20 specialties. So I want you to think about keywords. And then the last thing is, what 3 hashtags matter to you on topics that are related, that you would participate in, or that you would like to see in your feed of your company page. Now, what I'm going to do is a quick little demo on Canva. And Canva is one of many software programs that you can use to make some graphic design images. So for a company page, your logo needs to be 300 by 300 square, and your cover image needs to be 1128 by 191. However, on the LinkedIn documentation, it says 1536 by 768. So I'm scratching my head over that one, why it says one thing on the company page and why on one of their documentation pamphlets that they list this other size. So I don't have clarity on that to give you right now because there's a conflict. And I just discovered that last night when I was adding a couple resources. And so I will definitely be putting in an inquiry to LinkedIn to find out, why it is this particular size. Okay, looks like somebody's raised their hand. And do you want to moderate the chat for me?
I don't see that anybody has raised their hand.
No? All right, I thought they did. Okay, so I'm going to now, why is this not working here? Usually I can push my button here and, okay, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, so now I actually am going to switch to another drive. So I have to unshare and reshare again so that I can get my Canva going. So give me a second. All right. I have 2 Google Drives, and I have some accounts on one and other accounts on another. So canva.com is a free tool or a paid tool, but you can use it and have a free account to create some graphic images. Now, if you have a JPEG or a PNG that somebody has developed for you from Adobe Photoshop or Snappa or some other software program, by all means, I mean, that's all that you need, or you can ask them to develop it in certain sizes. So if I wanted to start out with create a design, okay, and I wanted to go to custom size, I would then choose this 300 by 300 and create a new design. Now, if you have previously uploaded your logo, that's great. Then it would be in the uploads section. But if you haven't uploaded your logo, then you can drag and drop it into the uploads where it says upload media, and then you can add it to this 300 by 300 size. So if you've been given a logo by your graphic designer in a different size, you can take that and make it a 300 by 300. Now, one thing that I would like to caution you about, and let me go to LinkedIn and just give you an example. I gotta spell it right. There we go. LinkedIn. And I'm going to go to my account. And over on the left, under experience, you're going to see that I have this one logo that has a turquoise background. You're going to see I have GCG, which has a white background. And then you're going to see here's Princeton Adult School. They have a horizontal logo. So, you know, I wonder if they could ask their designer to make them a circle logo or a square logo that would help them display better, because it's kind of hard to read. But let's go down to, you know, Penn State and Immaculata and Gwynn and Mercy. You can see that there is a white background or transparent background. So if you want this logo to pop a little bit more, so for example, Gwynn and Mercy, that could be this logo on top of a red square. So it would actually pop more and be bolder than it is now. Same thing with Immaculata. They could put their logo on top of a blue square. So what does that mean? If I were to, I've already created the design. So if I went to the square and I clicked on it, and then I clicked on this little background color, let's say I looked up the specific hex color for Immaculata, and right now I'm just going to click on this blue, then I could drag and drop Immaculata's logo on top of this blue square, and it would be bigger on the company page on LinkedIn. So an example would be like this turquoise one of mine. So it's a clock on top of the turquoise. So that turquoise makes it a full square and it just pops a little bit more. The other thing I want to do is give this a name. So I'm going to do logo 300 by 300, for example. And let me go to my uploads. Oh, actually, I'm going to put, so if I were to put my horizontal one on, this would get buried, right? It would absolutely positively get buried and you couldn't read it from my LinkedIn profile. So that's why when we developed a new logo, we not only went with this extended horizontal one that has our tagline in it, your career, our mission, but we knew that we needed a logo for social media. And so we had our designer develop a circle. And if I wanted it to pop a little bit more, I could have this blue background or a turquoise background or the dark blue background. But if you have a logo that has a white background, it will kind of just fade right into the LinkedIn page. Any questions about this before I move on to the other size.
There is a question. Michael
Okay.
is asking, is it possible to have more than one logo? He has a picture on his company page that he really likes, but the actual impression that I have being used as a logo is a lot different.
Well, you have to decide how you want to present yourself and your brand and its consistency. So you saw, we have these three, surrounding arms of a community with GCG, Great Careers Group. But on the other logo, we actually have Great Careers Groups with the logo and the tagline in it. So they do kind of go hand in hand. So I don't know if I can answer your question properly without seeing, what you're talking about. But I would suggest, get other people's opinions. And how are you recognized as a business? How are you recognized as a brand? Now you can always change your banner up, but if you do have a logo for your business, you want that 300 by 300 logo, that would typically stay consistent, but you could always change your banner up. So what I wanted to do was show you the banner, which is 1128 by 191. So if I now go to Canva and I do 1128 by 191, create a new design, and there is a long and skinny rectangle, and it's totally a different size than the banner in your personal LinkedIn profile, and you'd go through the steps the same way. Now, LinkedIn does have LinkedIn banner templates that you can use, but you would want to perhaps design your own so that it's customized to you and your particular hex colors. So if I go and click on this little logo from my personal profile or on any of these logos, this will take me to the company pages. So I just quickly clicked on that and viewed as a member. So if you're looking at my company page from the desktop, you can see that I built a QR code in. So if you were to hold up your phone, that QR code would take you right to my website. And you notice that the QR code, I also customize with the dark blue hex color that is part of my brand. And I did put my logo in the center of this particular QR code. And what I did was I used QR code monkey. So I will look that up and put that in the chat because I can right now since I'm off on a different page here. So here we go. Any questions?
So going back to your LinkedIn company page, you have one logo and there's only one logo in that 300 by 300, but
on the left.
And the banner is up at the top, so you can have a different banner from your logo.
Yes,
so
you can keep changing out the banner. So if you are having a holiday special or, thanks to all our clients, I mean, you could change it, excuse me, you could change it monthly, you could change it weekly, you could change it, however often that you want. I guess if you have time, and if you have a purpose for that banner. I know mine needs to probably be changed out now. We went through a major U-Haul on our website in March. I can't even tell you how many hours extra that I put in. And we changed our whole URL on our website. So we went from greatcareersphl.org to greatcareers.org. And the digital footprint on all our social media, oh my gosh, it was huge. And we changed our logo in December. So it was a matter of getting it all put out. And one thing Denise didn't mention is I'm working on my doctoral dissertation on the topic of LinkedIn. So I have limited bandwidth to recreate all these different banners for all our different social media. So I just kind of leave it as is, and it says what I need it to say at the moment. But
So
you can change it up.
Another question that came in is Michael is particularly interested in how he goes about linking his company page to his individual page.
Yes,
Thought that
that's
they were
exactly what we're going to go over.
Okay, good.
Okay, so over here on the left, that's where you put your 300 by 300 logo. The rest of this is the banner. So I'm going to go back to the top left to my home button for LinkedIn. And if I click on my profile, if I were to go down on this round me in the menu bar, what you do is this is where you're going to control your company page. So you can see I am an administrator on several company pages. I don't participate in all of them right now, but I still have admin rights. Now, so if I wanted to go to my company page for Great Careers, I would just click on that, and you can see I have super admin view. And you can see I have some analytics. Some are in the green and some are in the red. But if I wanted to view it as a member, then I would just click on view it as a member. Now, how do I connect that to my personal profile? So what you're going to do is you're going to go down to your work experience, and you're going to click on this pen at the top right of your experience. You're going to go down to the particular experience and click on the pen because you want to edit that experience. Now, I'm going to take this away just for a minute. Now, if I start typing my company name, Great Careers, so it's giving me some suggestions when I just type the word great. So if I see my logo and my company name right here on the down menu, I'm going to then click it and then click save. And that is how I connect my company page to my personal profile. Any questions about that?
No follow-up question on that. Thank you, Lynn.
All right. So I'm now going to get out of this drive and switch back because I'm kind of done showing you what I wanted to show you, some very basics with Canva. So I'm going to stop share, reshare. And give me a second, moving back. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the hashtags. So you can see this link here is 25 hashtag tips for your business or your job search. So if you click on this, this will take you to an article that I wrote about hashtag tips. And you want to build a branded hashtag for yourself. So for example, we are hashtag Great Careers PHL, and this is in camel case. meaning it's capital G, capital C, and capital PHL versus just hashtag Great Careers PHL, all lowercase. So I just built this branded hashtag. So when I make my post as my nonprofit, I post with other relevant hashtags as well as my branded hashtag. Now, you don't want to choose your branded hashtag on your LinkedIn company page as one of the trending topics to follow. You want to follow 3 hashtags that are relevant to you. So how do you do that? Well, let me go back to my personal page. And if I wanted to type in hashtag Great Careers PHL, see it comes in lowercase. So when I type that, you can see I don't have a lot of followers, but I typed it and then I followed it. Now, here is, a bunch of stuff that, here's tonight's event. Here's an event we had this morning. So any hashtag that I want to follow, let's look at this one. Here's KeyBank. If I wanted to follow KeyBank Small Business Month, I could just click on that and I could click follow. So they only have 5 followers. Now, sometimes if I wanted to follow, I'm going to choose something like totally that I'm not following. Healthcare. Healthcare is big. So if I just type in hashtag healthcare, here are 9 million followers. So I want to just click on the word follow. Now, sometimes if a hashtag is just established, what you may have to do is if you're creating your branded hashtag for the first time, it's not going to exist yet, but it's in a post. So if you go to search for it and then you go to the post, Coffee with Kelly. So if she typed Coffee with Kelly or hashtag Coffee with Kelly, and then she went to her post and then pulled this up and then followed it, okay, then that would be the start of something. So you just have to pull out of your head what is an appropriate hashtag that's going to be pretty customized for your business. Obviously, healthcare has over 9 million followers, almost 10 million. So that is a generic term versus something specific for your business. So maybe your @ sign, your handle, might match. So when I first was looking for a URL for my website, I thought, okay, how am I going to make myself unique? So I came up with greatcareersphl.org, and then all my @ symbols for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. They're all @greatcareersphl. And then I checked on each of the platforms and I looked up hashtag greatcareersphl. Nobody else was using it. So I proceeded forward, but years down the road after we built our website, we finally got available greatcareers.org, and we actually have people coming from around the world, to some of our events. And therefore we didn't want to necessarily have the PHL in there to make it exclusive to the greater Philadelphia area. But we still have the handles and the hashtags. but it's easy to create a branded hashtag, and I would definitely do that. Now, if I go to that company page, you're going to see, here I am. So here's the 3 hashtags. So here's networking events, job seeker, and open to work. So I am going to just go in the trash can and delete networking events. I can only have 3. So I have job seeker, I have open to work, and I will put in career management. So now I'm going to click save, and you can change these up, you know, monthly or whatever you decide to do. So I'm not going to start a post, but now I have career management, job seeker, open to work. So we do all things career, whether you are a job seeker, self-employed, employed, underemployed, you know, that's career topics.
And we do have a couple of questions that have come in. One is kind of, so a couple of them are basic. How do you create a business LinkedIn account? And then 2, do you need a personal LinkedIn account in order to establish a business LinkedIn account?
Okay, you have to have a personal LinkedIn account because the company page has to have access by an administrator. So an administrator is you know, a human being, so to speak, who's going to find this in their manage under this little mini me. And I think the next slide is how do you create a company page? So yes, you have to have a personal profile. Okay. So now the next slide we're going to do is other resource links. I'm not pulling this up full screen because I'm going to be flipping back and forth showing you where to find these things. So this one says follow step-by-step instructions with screenshots by clicking on the Google Docs link in the article, establish and leverage your LinkedIn company page for self-employment. It could be for small business, whatever it may be. So you click on this link, and I have written this article, and I'm going to take you down. You can see there's different links that are built in. And then I'm going to take you down here to the bottom, and it says, here are step-by-step instructions with visuals to set up a company page. Now, I do have to warn you that this client of mine built a website from a referral I gave her, and we built a company page. She had a logo developed, and then she decided to take everything down, and then she rebuilt everything as a nonprofit. So this website and this company page do not exist anymore. So here we go. I'm still going to show you because the instructions are still the same. Now, here's step 1. You know, we talked about preparation, create the banner, create the logo, and you see how her background of her logo was all white. And in order to make it pop a little bit more on the page, I put it on top of a square, so at least it had a border on it, and it would just make it not fade in to the page. So now here are step-by-step instructions. I'm not going to go through each and every step tonight, but I do want to show you, you know, it's a pretty extensive Google Doc, and it gives you pictures. I did screenshots, I did explanations, and I made it as easy as possible to do the process. But I think you need to first know where to start out with. Where do I begin? What's step 1 of how do I create a company page? So here it is. Right next to the little round mini me on the menu, there are 9 squares that have work. And if you click on that and you go all the way down to the bottom, hopefully you see it says create a company page. So I'm going to do that. Now you're going to start with, are you a company, or are you going to do a showcase page, or are you an educational institution? Well, in this case, you are most likely a company. And then you're going to put your page identity in. What's your business name? Then what is your, what do you want your LinkedIn public URL to say? What's your website? What industry are you in? What's your company size? What company type? And then you start with uploading that logo, and then you put your tagline in, and you verify that you're an authorized user, and you create the page, and then you go on and follow the step-by-step instructions. Now, as somebody who is experienced in building company pages, with creating the graphics and maybe tweaking some of the verbiage for clients, it does take me about an hour to build a company page, give or take. And if you're doing this for the first time yourself, I'm telling you what you need to prepare. So by gathering all the pre-documents and pre-writing and logos and whatnot, hopefully it should take you about an hour. It's not knowing what to expect where it might take you longer, but I've provided you with all those step-by-step instructions. If you just go ahead and print out that Google Doc, then you can just follow along. Okay, next one. Now, your LinkedIn profile, we actually just talked about this. So you wanted to click on your round me on the menu bar, and you'll see the company page at the very bottom under manage. And then in your experience section, that's how you connect your company page by typing in the company name, and you'll see the logo that you would set up from your company page. So I'd already done that demo. You also want to grow your followers on your LinkedIn company page. So I have in parentheses up at the top, it says 100 to 250. If you don't use those invitations of 250, if LinkedIn does give them to you, you'll be taken back down to 100. And I believe it was in November or December, I was given 250, and I did it for a couple months. And then the next month I was just swamped because we were planning this whole website revamp, and I didn't use my 250. And now they've got me back down to 100 a month. So I want to show you what that looks like live on the company page. Here's my example. I have 2 out of 100 credits available, and I can invite my connections. So I'm going to go back to my company page. And now here's this little section here, grow your followers, invite connections. Well, see how this one says 3? I took that screenshot of the 2 last night. So I had invited people, and when somebody accepts your invitation, then you will have a +1 added back to your invitations. So I only have 3 invitations that are good until the end of May, unless somebody accepts an invitation. So if I were going to invite my connections, I can search by name, and I could detail the stuff out industry. So if I was going to, oops. I don't know if we're connected. Yep. So here is Denise Lynch. I could click on that and I could invite one. So hopefully she will accept my invitation. So I'm not going to post about it. Hey, I invited Denise. No, we're not going to do that. So now you can see that we are back down to 2 out of 100.
Lynn,
Now
you
I
have
can
a
go.
question.
Yep.
So yes, what is a credit in LinkedIn? They didn't.
A credit means you get back an extra invitation. So I just invited you and I used one of my 3 that are left and it took me down to 2. So if you accept it, it'll go back up to 3. So it gets credited back to my account. Now,
do you pay for those credits or you get
no,
that?
no, this is all free stuff. The company page is free and the invitations are free. And that's how you can grow your following of your people. But you have to put content on the page. So you have to make a commitment to put content out there, just like any social media. Now, if I wanted to find somebody from the University of Delaware, okay, so I could click on University of Delaware and show results. Well, here are all the people who are in my LinkedIn network, and I could invite all of them, well, I can only invite 2 right now. So that's just an example. I'm not going to invite anybody right now. Now I'm going to clear. If I wanted to target people, in an industry, if I wanted to do chemicals, okay, who is in the chemical industry that I would like to invite to my page? So I'm actually the president of chempharma.net, which is chemical engineering, pharmaceuticals. And so I go into the company page all the time, and this is exactly what I do. I search for chemical or pharmaceuticals or life sciences, biotech, that kind of thing. And I look for people and then I invite them so I can grow the following on the company page. So if you are, a provider of a specific service or product, and there's a particular type of person or company or industry that is your target audience, then you want to, get happy and start inviting people to your page. But you have to have content on your page. You have to build something in for them to want to follow you. Now, where do these notifications come? See how I have 99 notifications here? So I could go through these 99 notifications, which happened, at some point in time today. And that's a lot of notifications. So let's say I get down to the bottom here. Give me a minute. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom. Holy smokes. 4 hours ago. Look at this. People are very active on LinkedIn. All right. So do you see where it starts in white? That means that I've already acknowledged, those notifications. Now, could I make the notification go away? So let's say here's a resume writing client project request available in Newark, Delaware. Well, I could review the request, or I could click on these 3 little dots and I can click on delete, or I could have clicked on this and turn off notifications. So you can sort of train your feed if you don't want all these notifications popping up. And you can see 5 hours ago, in the past 5 hours, I've gotten 99 notifications. So I kind of skim and scan this real quick, and I'll click on something that is going to make sense for me, and then I'll ignore stuff that is not. And do I have time to click all of these and go delete, delete, delete? No, I wish I did. I know some people like to keep their email boxes clean and their LinkedIn notifications clean, but I babysat my grandson all day, so that wasn't happening. All right, any questions about growing followers?
Just a time check, Lynn. We have about 10 minutes and do need to leave a few minutes for the wrap up.
Oh, I have this down listed as till 7:30.
Oh, my mistake. You're right. Sorry.
Okay, all right. All right, next thing is, elsewise, to grow your followers, you want to add the icon to your website as if you were viewing it as a member, so it'll take people to your company page. And you can also add the icon to your email signature or other marketing materials. So let me show you what that looks like. I've got it a couple different ways on my website. So here is our home page. And if you go down to the bottom of the home page, you're going to say, oh man, they have 3 LinkedIn logos here, icons. What's all this about? Well, one of them is our company page. One is our general group. And then the other one is the another group, which is for mid to senior level executives and business owners. And then I have, Meetup and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Pinterest. So these are icons that are part of my choices from my WordPress program. Now, if I were to go to contact page, which is where I originally had the social media set up, you can see these are just black and white icons, again, from the widgets on Elementor. So we use Elementor as a page builder, and these are built in to Elementor. So if I were to go to this LinkedIn group, okay, so if I click on that, it'll take me right to the LinkedIn group. So I have 25 requests to join. I don't let everybody in because I want to get to know people. We have people come from around the world, and we want to see their faces and meet them to know that they're going to contribute to the group with good value. So that's a way of getting more exposure by putting your connection, your link with the icon or the logo to your company page. And you can see this is my signature from my email, and I have just the LinkedIn logo, and that will take you to the LinkedIn company page. It does not take you to my personal profile page. That is on my for-profit business email signature. So remember, I switched drives. So, it depends on what drive it is. These are all the company page logos. I'm trying to drive, anybody that clicks on that to our company page stuff. Questions?
There's no questions right now, Lynn.
Okay. Now, you want to post content daily, at least once or twice a day. And here are a whole bunch of different ideas of what you can do to post. So this is page 1 of ideas. Here is page 2 of ideas. Now, I have written articles, because we are here with Chester and Delaware County SCORE. I write for Vista.today, which is a Chester County publication. I write for Delco.today, which is a Delaware County publication, but I also write for Montco.today, which is Montgomery County publication, and Bucksco.today, which is a Bucks County publication. So I take what I write, and I also put it on my website, and I also put it in my LinkedIn newsletter. All different audiences. So, well, some of them might cross paths, but they are different audiences. And I just want to get my content out there. If I'm taking the time to write something, more eyes on it are better. So I wrote an article about polls, and I wrote an article about carousels. And let's just take you to that. So have you examined your spots and stripes on LinkedIn? Well, basically stripes, I'm thinking like a bar chart, right? So I'm doing a little play on words there. And, here's how to start a poll. And then if we go back to carousels, I did a little play on words, so to speak, with the picture. It's, the carousel, the horse carousel goes round and round on the merry-go-round, and so does carousels on LinkedIn. So here, I'm just going to click on Personal Branding Carousel Post by Michelle Griffin. She does some wonderful things. You're going to find these under Documents. So here's an example, 7 tips to power up your LinkedIn profile. So when you click on this, this is what's considered a carousel. So these can be made in Canva and downloaded as a PDF. Now she's got 10 slides. So for those of you who have Instagram, you can download each slide individually as a PNG file, and you can put these 10 slides and make it, multiple page document on Instagram. So you've got multi-purpose going here with the content. Like, this is great content with tips, but this is called a carousel. But on LinkedIn, it's a PDF and it gets downloaded as a document. And you can do this on your homepage, on your personal profile, and you can also do it on your LinkedIn company page. Questions?
So Lynn, how important is it to post content daily, especially, business owners and everybody's so busy? Does it have to be daily, or can it be weekly or monthly?
I wouldn't do it monthly. I wouldn't just do it weekly. If you don't put content out there, it's how are you going to attract people, to want to follow you. If they're coming to follow you, you want to entertain them, educate them, inspire them, motivate them, give them a how-to guide. You're going to give something where in your particular niche, you're going to give them something that is valuable to them, or you're going to share pictures of your staff that's behind the scenes. So, yes, it does take time to create content, maybe even holiday images. So we are a volunteer-run nonprofit, but we have a small membership fee, and we take that small membership fee and we hire somebody to create those images for us. And that's why we constantly have content. Now, we're doing events. We run, 35 to 50 events a month. So like an event like this times 35 to 50. So we're constantly doing events rather than engaging stuff, engagement posts. So it takes a lot to create, all these images. And, that consumes our 1 to 2 or sometimes more per day. But this is something, as a business owner, this is something that if you're not a graphic designer, this is something you want to find somebody to do for you. And if you'd like, I'm going to stop share and reshare. and I will show you what I do for a content calendar. Let's go back here. Sorry, it's on this drive. So if I go, I use just Google Drive, and I'm a big Google fan. It's free, and we have a name of a document called posts templates. I don't know how I came up with that, but here's 2021. It got out of hand to put in 2022. So we'll make a new one each year. And what I do is I put things out with the most current on the top. So here we've already got content planned through the end of June. So here's the Canva image. We put the link to that in, and the person that makes this puts it in a link to share. So if I wanted to tweak this in any way, shape or form, I could go in and tweak it. So sometimes it takes another set of eyes to look at stuff and see if it might need tweaking. But then she's come up with verbiage that she's gonna put in there and post. And then she's put in hashtags. So if this is okay, I would look at this and I would turn this pink thing green, and that gives my approval. We don't have to talk in any way, shape, or form. She knows when it's green, I've approved it. So maybe I want to put another hashtag in here, which would be appropriate. Work from home, WFH. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to make this pink again because I really didn't read it. But if you go down, let's go down to May. So she's done the whole month in advance. And let's go down to current. And we post things 1 week in advance, so it has time to sort of get out there. So today is 5/19. So here was Recruiter on Call with Jobs, and that was this morning, and post on 5/12. So she's saying what date she's going to post, and then she puts her name down, Kat posted. Now she is not available one day, and she lets me know, Lynn, I'm not going to be available on such and such a day. Can you cover? Like, all we have to do is send a message to each other on Slack or a text message, and then I just pick up the pieces and cover. Now this one is 5/20. Here's our funny Friday. So she posted it. So we have Hootsuite, so we schedule our post, but she still has to post it on LinkedIn. We were not having great success posting from Hootsuite onto LinkedIn, so we do it manually, mainly because we want to be inclusive, and we put an alt tag in there for those who may have vision impairments, so we can explain what the picture is about. And we also are able to tag people by doing it manually. So tomorrow you will see on LinkedIn company page, did somebody say it's Friday? So, you know, we're trying to put something a little fun and light, you know, on there, as well as our content. So by just developing this calendar, it's only got, you know, 3 columns in it. Okay, so it's you know, the date, and then the content, and then the Canva link. Now another thing, here's let me do this one. So I help Delaware Valley Veterans Consortium with their social media. So I have a couple high school interns, and so they have been making the links for the Canva images, and they are writing the content and the hashtags. And, you know, this is helping me get my volunteer work done. So I've got somebody that completed July, I've got somebody that's working on August, and they'll work towards the end of the year. So I can post these on the Facebook page, and I can schedule it on the planner. So I've got everything done till the end of June that I know about, but I will post it on the LinkedIn company page. And it was too much for me to post on the LinkedIn group. So I've asked some of the veterans to copy and paste from the homepage into the LinkedIn group. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm learning little history tips. When does the Korean War begin? Coast Guard Auxiliary birthday, GI Bill signed into law. So for me, it's actually kind of interesting because I'm learning little snippets of history as I'm going along on this. So it's, you know, easy to set up a Google Docs social media chart or planner. And that way, if you make it collaborative, everybody that needs to can participate. Questions?
No questions at this time?
Okay, moving on. Which slide? Okay, I'm on 14 now. So you want to tag people and put hashtags in posts. So here's an article about tagging. I already put the article in about hashtags. You typically want to use 3 to 5 hashtags, but really no more than 9. And you might want to consider stacking them. So when you post, your post can be up to 3,000 characters, but that's a lot for somebody to read. So you might want to keep it 1,200 or under. When you post, you want to have words, white space, words, white space, words, white space. And that way it makes it a little bit longer. And rather than just a line or two, you can do a line or two, but LinkedIn wants you to have people look at your content and stay on the LinkedIn page longer. So they want the longer form of content, so that if you're posting something, people should be clicking on see more to see more of the post. So let me just give you an example. I'm going to go back to my company page. So if you go down, you'll see my featured section. So every weekend I put out, somewhere Friday to Sunday, I will put out a new article. And I put this on my newsletter. And then every weekend, I will put out a 1.5-minute or less video of the upcoming speakers for the week. And then every month, I will put up the monthly recap of speakers because we book 4 to 6 weeks in advance. Now, if you go down to my activity section to show all activity, and then you click on articles, okay, here's that article that I put in my featured section. So I did that by these 3 little dots, feature on top of profile. Now, if you see this is still a post, okay, well, this is the article, but here was my post. I had to create a post for my article. So I wrote, I put the emoji in, white space, emoji, wrote, white space, etc. And then here I'm saying follow Great Careers PHL. That is my call to action. I want you to follow this. Now you can see Great Careers groups in Bang. I tagged the company page. So we're talking, here's my 5 hashtags. We're talking about graphic design, graphic designer, images, photographs. And this is typically what you want to do in a post. Could I have made it longer? Yeah. But did I want to make it longer? No, it takes my time. I thought I did a, pretty good job writing the article and putting in lots of useful, helpful links and resources, but I just didn't want to go and make it longer. But that's what I'm talking about, stacking the hashtags and tagging people. If I, let me go back, wrong thing. Okay. All right. So you can see I have 4,256 subscribers to my newsletter, which is called Career News Today. And that's a good amount of eyes, of people that want to read what I have to write. So here's other newsletters. And again, I write stuff, that's career related for self-employed, unemployed, employed, and underemployed people, of things that would help their career. Some weeks I may focus on a job seeker. Some weeks I may focus just on the entrepreneur, or it might be general for all people who are working adults. So you have to, get your niche and figure out how you want to post content. And you can create a newsletter on your personal page, or you can create a newsletter on the company page, either or. That's another way you could put out content.
Lynn, Courtney is asking, would you recommend highlighting upcoming events programs in posts, or is there another way you'd suggest promoting the events?
So if you're going to create an event, you can create an event on your personal page, or you can create an event on the company page. So let me give you an example of that. And I'm going to go to Thought Leadership Branding Club. So I happen to be an admin of this. This is a Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and LinkedIn audio group that I'm part of. It has over 28,000 members on Clubhouse. And it is social audio. So we talk into our phones. It's kind of like podcasting, live radio show. Now, we did, so here's video of two people chatting. Okay, here's my Clubhouse room tomorrow. I run one every Friday. Here's a member spotlight. I got spotlighted again. Okay, so here is an event which was built on Eventbrite. So here's an example of an Eventbrite event posted on the company page. If you go to my company page, that's the group, sorry. You're going to see I'm driving traffic to my website. So here is, let me just pick something. Here's Bang Career Success Group. So this is the Plymouth meeting. So if I were to click on that, I've created the event on our website, on our events page, and then people have to register from here. Now, do we have a meetup group? Sure do. So we also create events on our meetup. And the reason being is we've had meetup since 2010. So we've got over 5,400 members on our meetup, and I don't want to lose that. So you can create events on any platform that you want and put it on your company page. But if you are creating events on the LinkedIn events platform, not only do you have to have a following of people, because you have to invite people, but you have to create the event verbiage, and you have to create a post to post the event. And you have to create the graphics for the event, which are a whole totally different size. So if I were to tell you that I run about 600 events a year, 35 to 50 a month, I don't have time to do Meetup, our website, and LinkedIn events. So I have to cut something out of the schedule, and it's LinkedIn events. But if you're running it, you know, something very not so often, then I would put it on all platforms. Like, why the heck not? Get it out there. Hopefully that answered your question.
I don't have any other questions at this time, Lynn.
All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is emojis and Unicode. Now, here's the article that I wrote about emojis. And the one I want to point out to you is Emojipedia. So I'm going to just click on that right from the article. It's emojipedia.org. So if I want a money bag, okay, so I have money bag, money mouth, money with wings, etc. So let's say I want this money bag. I could just copy this, you know, highlight it, right click copy and left click paste into my Word document, into a Google Doc, which I would typically use before I post into LinkedIn, because it allows me to check for spelling or punctuation or spacing. If I do it, I typically don't do things in Word. I do resumes in Word, but I typically do all my work in Google Docs. So I create those posts like I just showed you for, you know, my article, and I put those emojis in. The other one is we're going to talk about Unicode. So Unicode is something that you can add. Let me see if this picture didn't come up yet. Okay, you can add bold, underline, italics in a post. It is not readable by LinkedIn, so you want to use it very, very sparingly. I wouldn't use it on your profile per se, because it's not readable. Unicode is not readable. It's not, you know, a word that can be found in the dictionary. It's code, but it could have impact for you on a post. Now, here are a whole bunch of different Unicode platforms where you can generate text in bold or underline. So let me show you an example. I will pick somebody. This guy is a global LinkedIn expert, and you would definitely want to follow him. He puts out algorithm reports. So here's his featured section. So if you click right, you might see, no, he took out his fall algorithm report that he wrote from his featured section, but you can find it elsewhere. But let's just go right here. Here it is. Going viral on LinkedIn with your post has never been easier. Do you see how that's bolded? That's Unicode. So he's trying to get attention by making that bold. And then he puts his verbiage in, he puts emojis in. Now here we go again. Or would you also settle for less impressions? And then relevant, he's really honing in on that. So he's actually using it sparingly, but it's to make it have a pop and punch in his post. So this is just an image. It's not a deck, you know, that is a carousel or anything like that. But that's an example of what Unicode looks like in a post. Also, you can plan for engagement by, I showed you my monthly calendar that I use in Google Docs, but I know people use Trello, Asana, Airtable, you know, and many, many other platforms for creating a social media content calendar. And if you have different people and different hands in the pot, then it's always good to have some sort of a document that is collaborative. You can publish industry content, feel good content, like behind the scenes, you know, maybe your company supported SCORE or some other nonprofit, and you want to share, you know, pictures or, you know, awards or something from the event, or that big ginormous check, you know, that you might see that some people get. You can publish information about your product service, and according to LinkedIn, you can schedule with Hootsuite, Buffer, or Sprinkler. Those were noted in a document. However, I have Hootsuite. It's a paid platform, and I can't say that I had 100% hits with my content making it on LinkedIn, and we couldn't tag people. And that was problematic to me, and we couldn't put the alt tags in to make it more inclusive for people with disabilities. So we post everything on LinkedIn manually. All right, more engagement. Use the content suggestions tool. So what that is here's the instructions for LinkedIn. Use content suggestions for your LinkedIn page. So let me show you what that looks like. Let me go. Okay, so here I happen to be on the Thought Leadership Branding page. So here's content and, you know, I guess trending articles based upon those hashtags, employee milestones, company news. So there's nothing here. Same thing for mine. I'm not getting any content suggestions, but here's the admin tools. So you can invite connections from here, sponsor an update, post a free job, create an event, manage admins, view help center, feedback, pages, terms, etc. And then you can also get analytics of visitors, updates, followers, competitors, and leads. So for example, you know, here's this page, and the mobile is red and the desktop is blue. So people that are consuming are, you know, coming honestly on both platforms, but more desktop. And you can get demographics. What are the names of the people? So this is definitely more entrepreneurship than it is job seekers, but there's still career related things that happen in the Thought Leadership Branding Club. You can reshare mentions, like if somebody mentions your company, you do get a notification and you could reshare that post. You want to post short videos and native videos, meaning upload it to LinkedIn and not from YouTube. LinkedIn doesn't want people leaving LinkedIn and going off to YouTube. They want to keep people on the platform. So if you have these videos that people can consume on the platform, then that's a better thing. We already talked about creating carousels. You can maybe ask a question, have a raffle, contest, you know, different things to create engagement. You can cross promote by tagging your page in personal posts. So when I posted, let me just go to my last post. So here I am. I'm like, need to learn more about LinkedIn company pages. Join me today with SCORE Mentors, Chester and Delaware County. So if you're not following the SCORE Mentors, Chester and Delaware County company page, you can just go to my post and boom, there it is. And then here's the link to the event. And here I've stacked LinkedIn pages, LinkedIn tips, entrepreneurs, small business, SCORE, and Great Careers PHL. So I stacked 6 hashtags. But here's the original post from my LinkedIn company page. So let me show you how I did that. I'm going to go to my LinkedIn company page. And I am now in my 9th year teaching LinkedIn at the Chester County Library in Exton, but we're doing it all on Zoom. And so every 3rd Saturday of the month, I have a 3-hour workshop. And this Saturday is part 3 of 3, June is part 1 of 3, and July is part 2 of 3. And it is all free to you, courtesy of the Chester County Library. So see how we've got all this information here in the post. I can take these 3 little dots and I can copy link to post, and then I can go on my home page. I'm just going to do this live now. I'm not going to type very much, but there's the link that'll take you right to that company page post, which is now hooked up and to my website. So I'm driving traffic to my website to register. So LinkedIn part 3 of 3 is happening. LinkedIn part 3 of 3 workshop, online workshop, is happening on Saturday, May 21st at 10 a.m. ET. See full post below, and find registration link in description. All right, did I spell that right? The registration link, workshop. See the full. See, it's correcting me. I got Grammarly going on here. So now underneath, I will put Great Careers PHL, LinkedIn tips, and workshop. No, I'll do LinkedIn workshop. LinkedIn workshop. This is a free event through the at Chester County, I think it's business. Let's try library. Yep, Library Business and Career Center. So dimes to donuts, the Chesco Library will probably like this, comment on it, because they will get this in their notification, or maybe they'll repost it. Who knows? So I get involved in doing cross-platform marketing, and that's what I did with this workshop today. Now, I only have a couple more slides. I know we're like really getting close to the edge. So let me just kind of run through these last couple things. So you want to review your analytics that you have available. I kind of showed you that already. Now, if you want to spend money on LinkedIn ads, prepare for about 5 to 10 grand. I kid you not. It's very, very expensive. So most people can't do that unless they're a major big corporation, but you can still get LinkedIn page analytics. They are only available for 60 days. So if you want to keep track of your analytics, you can download these CSV files, but do that at the end of a month so that you can get that information. You also want to research what your competition is doing, where are they getting engagement, and here's a bunch of other resources. Now, these are all linked to live pages, and there is a lady who is in Australia. Her name is Michelle Raymond, and she and Linaire Johnson, who's in New Zealand, wrote this book called Business Gold: Building Awareness, Authority, and Advantage with LinkedIn company pages. It's available in hard copy. It's also available electronically. So I actually purchased the electronic book on Amazon, and it was, you know, a good reference. Now, a little bit more about me. Here's my upcoming schedule, workshop schedule, where I'm speaking. I do have other SCORE events that I'm speaking at, not just Chester and Delaware County SCORE, but Delaware SCORE, Bucks County SCORE, etc. Here's my contact information and more contact information. And I'm very pleased to say that in September 2020, that the Great Careers Group won the SCORE Small Business Award. We have grown by leaps and bounds, so it's pretty exciting. So I'm now going to turn this over to Denise for the last couple slides.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Boy, that was a lot of information, but it was so great for you to be able to show in real time how to do these things and how it all interrelates. So hopefully everybody got a great introduction to this, and you have a link for the documentation. So please go ahead and leverage that information. I just wanted to reiterate that SCORE is here to help small business owners. We do this through free workshops like this one, as well as mentoring. We do one-on-one mentoring. We have business experts with different types of backgrounds, and you can come and ask to be mentored and connect with a mentor through our website at chesterdelco.score.org, or by calling the number that's on the screen. So before we wrap up, I am posting a poll. We do want feedback on this session so we can work to continue to improve the webinars and also provide you with what you're really interested in. So if folks would please go ahead and fill out the poll that's on the screen, I would appreciate it. So again, Lynn, thank you so much for your time. Great information. And thank you for everybody hanging in on such a beautiful evening.